Good night, Facebook. This is DJE from the Controversial Show, and decided to make a video tonight because I was reading something today that disturbed me highly. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the story of Khalif. I believe his name is Broder. He's the young man that had apparently committed suicide sometime later after being released from Rikers Island prison. He was the young man that was arrested and spent 3 years of his life, unfortunately, there at Rikers Island for stealing a backpack. And 2 years ago, he committed suicide as a result of everything that had, he had suffered from and he was suffering from and experiencing as a result of everything that he had endured at, behind the walls of the prison system. I want to say that is so not right. That is not right. For a young man to be 16, thrown into jail for allegedly, even if he did not steal it, and he decided not to lie on himself and not to take a plea just to have his freedom. He preferred to suffer because it was the right thing to do. It didn't make no sense him saying that he did it if he knew in his heart he didn't do it, just to have his freedom, even though he was experiencing horrific things behind bars. Nonetheless, even let's say he had stolen it, to give somebody 3 years, 3 fucking years, just for stealing a backpack, it is so not right. I mean, there are people like George Zimmerman and these bigot police cops out here that hate black people, that are killing black people, and are walking free. They are walking scot-free to continue to do the shit. And here you got a black young man, black child, suffering horribly in prison for a fucking backpack. And you have police officers and prison officers just frightening people and threatening people to lie on themselves, to take charges, on convictions that they for offenses they did for offenses that they did not commit. We are human beings. Okay? It doesn't matter what color our skin is. We are human beings, and that is not right. That is not right. It is wrong. Okay? And I want to tell America that America is responsible for that young man's blood. Yes, he might have committed, death by his own hands. He might have taken his own life, but that young man's blood is on America. It's on America for allowing such bigotry and such hate to continue and such discrimination to continue within its legal system. I mean, justice should be for everybody, not just people of specific race and color and backgrounds. It should be for everybody. And if one didn't commit a crime, they should have that opportunity to live their lives freely. George Zimmerman, killer, victimized, followed and murdered a young man on the street. in the complex of his own apartment, his father's apartment, killed him when the police told him not to pursue. They told him, they demanded that he not pursue that kid, and he still do it. He chose to ignore them. And I don't understand how the hell someone who doesn't have a gun, okay, could be looked at as the bully. Okay? George Zimmerman was told not to pursue that guy. George Zimmerman was the one that had the gun, and okay. So how is it that the screams was ruled to be George Zimmerman's? I mean, I just don't fucking understand that. Even if Trayvon Martin had gotten a grip and was whooping that ass, okay, he was whooping that ass to protect his own life, to preserve his own life. Okay, so, but the screams, I mean, how could somebody even give George Zimmerman the benefit of the doubt? But nonetheless, George Zimmerman is on the street. The police officers that killed Michael Brown and that assassinated that young man in the vehicle with his child and his girlfriend, and all of these black boys and the police officers were choked to death that guy, okay, for selling loose cigarettes when he continuously say, I cannot breathe, and he had stopped fighting. These guys are still out there. They are still out there on these streets, but these persons are dead. And you're going to give a fucking child 3 years for stealing a backpack? What kind of country is America? What kind of country is America? America, it's time for you to take your judgment, you know. America, it is time for you to take your judgment, to get your judgment. And America, what about to come upon you? I promise you, okay? It's going to be so fucking heavy that what you cannot take, you're going to fucking drag. You hear me? You hear me? That's what's going to happen. You know why? Because America has too much blood on its hands. Innocent blood on its hands. And I believe the election of a radical racist, bigot, misogynistic, whatever, Donald Trump, the election of that guy is for God to bring punishment on this country. Punishment is coming on America real soon. Real soon. You watch me. You understand what I'm saying? It's coming on America real soon. And you know what? Y'all are responsible for this shit. Y'all are. Because y'all been killing out and abusing and just putting God's people in some of the most worst sufferation and death. For nothing. For nothing. It's time for you to take your punishment, America, and everyone in it that has participated in God's people being punished and being killed out and being hurt. Everyone that's a part of it is going to suffer. It's going to suffer, and it's going to endure what's about to come upon them. You cannot escape. No underground city, no fucking amount of money, no nothing you have is going to protect you and prevent you from getting the destruction that's about to come upon this country. And I say to you people, the good people of this country, to get out. This is a warning. Get out of America. Get out of America, because America is about to come to its doom. It's about to come to its doom. Too much blood, too much innocent blood is on America. You understand me? Too much innocent blood is on America. America is about to crash and burn. Okay? And guess what? You people of God who believe in God and whatever, let me tell you something. God is telling you to get out. Get out of this place, because this place is going to crash. This place is going to crash. Too much blood. God cannot take it anymore. Okay? Khalif Browser and all these other people, Okay, their blood is on you, America. Their blood is on you because God has given you time and time and time again to do the right thing. To do the fucking right thing on behalf of its people. Okay, the minorities in this country has been disenfranchised and killed and murdered and victimized and abused and suffered too long, America, too long. Okay, and the more chances God gives you to do the right thing, it seems to be the worse that you fucking do. His heart is bleeding. God's heart is bleeding. He cannot take any more. He cannot take any more. The wealth and the riches and the success that God has blessed this country with. What you all do, instead of y'all being fucking grateful, instead of y'all being appreciative, what y'all do is turn your back on God. That's what y'all do. And what y'all do is stomp and trample on his people. That's what y'all do. Now, America, now anybody in their right mind, okay, tell this black nigger, okay, that's what y'all look at me as, right? A nigger, okay? But I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm never ignorant, always getting motherfucking goals accomplished. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, I am a nigger. You understand me? So it's okay. You can call me a nigger. That's fine. But I'm going to tell you this, okay? Tell this nigger, is it right to destroy a man's life over a backpack? Is it right? Is that right? Is that right? Is it right to watch a black boy, okay, is stomped on by police and assassinated while he's on the ground in handcuffs or subdued? Is that right? Tell me, America, is it fucking right? Tell the nigga that. Tell me that. Is it right? Huh? If you got this kid, okay? You got this kid, and all of these white motherfuckers, and no disrespect to white people, because I mean, listen, no disrespect. I love all people, but I must say it the way it's supposed to be fucking said, and I don't give a shit who don't like it. I don't give a fuck. You understand what I'm saying? You understand? So you got these white motherfuckers that be out here shooting up churches and killing mass amount of people. And the first thing that is going to be considered for their ass is mental treatment. Put them in some fucking mental institution because something gotta be wrong with their fucking head. But a black boy or a black person, let's kill that motherfucker. He stole a backpack. The way he committed the worst sin in the fucking world. He stole a backpack. So let's kill that motherfucker. That's what y'all motherfuckers are saying. That's what y'all are saying. Let's kill that motherfucker for stealing a backpack. Shame on you, America. Shame on you. Shame on you, America. Shame on you. Shame on you, America. I cry shame for you. I cry shame for you. Y'all have put that young man through so much. And guess what? There were telecasts and interviews of him telling his story, but nobody gave a fuck because he was a black boy. If that was a white boy, whether he had shoot up a fucking synagogue or take down a whole fucking goddamn shopping mall, if that was a white boy who had said, oh, the prison officers threw my food on the floor and made me eat it off the floor, you know what they would have done? That motherfucker would have been fired. And they would have had all sorts of cameras and all sorts of to get that ass. But this is a black boy. So his story did not matter. What the fuck he had to say was not important, because he was a black boy who committed the ultimate sin of stealing a fucking backpack. That's what he did. He stole a backpack. And he didn't even take it. They put him through the worst punishment to force him to lie on himself, and he refused to do it. He refused to do it, because in his heart, and my heart is grieving, because I am so sorry he had taken his own life, because he gave them power. He gave them the power over his life by taking it. He gave them, but I understand, because they killed his soul. They destroyed his soul, and he felt he couldn't carry on. He felt he couldn't carry on. And I'm going to tell you this, America. I will tell you this. My mother died suddenly in 2015, June 23rd, I believe, 2015. My mother suddenly died from cancer. You hear me? She died from cancer. I hadn't seen my mother in over a year before she died. Okay? I had one of the last conversations I had with my mother. She told me she was okay. But she died suddenly. Just went home and sat down and died. It would be something I will never, never forget. And I'm 37 years old right now, America, and I cry for my mother still. I think about my mother always. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes I pick up the phone to call my mother, and I know she's not there. She's not coming back. She's not coming back, and it destroys me. And I'm acting tough on living out here, but inside, I'm dying inside, because I miss my mother so much. But 2 months after my mother, trying to get over my mother, I'm, in and out of depression for weeks, trying to get over my mother. My brother committed suicide, and he committed suicide because he was in a position where he felt that nobody loved him anymore, that nobody gave a fuck about him, and that he felt like death was better than living, and death is never better than living. Choosing, rather. Death is better than living if you die in Christ. If you believe in God, which I do, and you die, not by your own hands, but you die, okay? He calls you home. That is the sweetest thing you can ever ask for, because you are pulled away from all of the heartache and all of the pain and all of the suffering. But that is not better than life. When situation brings you to have them kind of thoughts, that it's easier for you to take your own life than to carry on living. That's not good. That's not good. And we are killing people's souls and bringing them to a point more and more to choose death over life. It's sad. It's really sad. So to the family, I don't know if the family of Khalif Brodus, I believe that's his name. If that's not his name, listen, you know who I'm talking about. That young man, if you ever was to see this video, know that I feel your pain. I feel your pain, and I understand your suffering. I understand your suffering. I understand that your son, your brother, your nephew, your family member was mentally in a prison, even though he had physically left those bars. His mind never left. His mind never left. He constantly lived in that mindset, and it pushed him to take his own life. And that is so sad. That is so sad. So if you was to ever see this video, you might not know who I am, and you may never meet me, and I may never meet you. But just know that I'm here for you. Just know that I understand. I understand. It's okay. It's okay. But America, you're gonna answer for that. You're gonna answer for everything that you have allowed God's people to go through. You. Yes, you're gonna do it. And guess what? You can't escape. You can't escape. And this is all I wanted to say tonight. Stay tuned. Check out my page, Controversial Talk with DJE. Like it, share it. Express your comments and your views. And feel free to share your stories and, just continue to be strong out there, as minorities and black people. Just continue to be strong. And I if you are out there and you are placed in this mental position where you are considering suicide, know that that's not the answer. Please understand, that's not the answer. Please understand and know how important your life is. Your life is priceless. There is nothing in this world that anybody can give that will take the value of your life. Now, people may treat you as though you don't matter, your life is just doesn't mean anything, and death is better. But trust me, it's not. Trust me, it's not. I will share a story with you guys. As a teenager, even before I was a teen, I would say probably around 9, 10, 11, I constantly live in depression. And I too had had contemplated suicide over and over and over. I hated my life, because I was a poor black boy from an island nation on a small little island in that nation that I grew up among a very ignorant group of people who constantly remind you of poverty, constantly reminds you how disenfranchised you are, constantly remind you of what grouping of people you are in, who constantly made fun of you and talk about you. And I hated, it brought me to a place where I hated myself. I hated existing. I was sent to school, and rather than going to school many times, I would hide in the bush. Yes, I graduated, okay? And I'm very, very intelligent. And that's not being arrogant. That's the reality, okay? And I can go up against the best of the best in that same place right now, that same island. I could go up against the best of them. Okay? And again, that's not about being arrogant. That's about taking back your self-esteem. But anyway, I contemplated suicide many times. But I was raised to love God. I was raised to believe in God. I was raised to trust God. And I would isolate myself from people. and I would just pray, and I would just cry, and I would pray, and I would cry. And when people were wishing to have fancy stuff, the next game or the next latest fashion outfit or the next thing, I simply wished to be loved. I wished to be appreciated. I wished to be accepted. That's all I wanted. Monies and riches and none. I didn't care for that. I just wanted to be loved, to be accepted, to be appreciated. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. And God reminded me. Now, you may not believe in God, and it's cool. If that's what you choose not to do, it's okay. I cannot force you to do that, but I'm telling you my story and my relationship with my God. You feel me? My God. And he just reminded me of how special I was. He reminded me of how powerful he would make me to be. And he reminded me of what he had done, the sacrifice he had made for me. And taking my life was not an option. And so today, my name is not in lights. And I really don't care if it's not. If God gives me a platform, where my name happens to, get in lights, I will always use that just how I'm using it now, or using my life now, to be an inspiration to people. And everybody who knows me or came in contact with me, I sowed a seed into their lives of something positive, and I make them to understand of how important they are, how significant they are to this world. That's a fact, because we are very, each and every one of us, all 7.5 billion of us are important to this world, and we have something to deposit into the world, okay? And nobody deserves your life. Nobody. So please, if you are having thoughts of suicide, don't take your life. Please don't take your life. If you want to message me, you can message me. It comes directly to me, and I will be happy to be a friend, to be that inspiration to talk to you. I will be happy and obliged to do it. But I've lost my brother to suicide. And you know what? I wasn't even there. But there's one thing that he can say. If he was placed on earth right now, he will tell you that I have never treated him mean. I never treated him nasty. And during his difficult, darkest hour, I stood by him. I didn't know everything that he was going through and the depth of what he was going through. But I stood by him. And I understood his pain, and I realized that he was going through some things when I traveled for my mother's funeral. I understood that he was going through some things, because the person I knew him to be was not the person I saw and spent time with. This person just so quiet and so still and just staring into one direction. It was not that person. And I tried, and I talked with him, and I said, listen, whatever you're going through, remember, we all go through things. We all go through difficult things, but don't let it beat you. Don't let it beat you. But I was a small pebble in a big pond. And whomever he was allowed to continue to live with and be around, they continued to remind him of what a waste of life he was. What a waste. I mean, I can't even if I can find a word, they listen, they sold some of the most negative things into him at his darkest hour. And when he tried to reach out for help, because he had already come to such a place in his life, because he didn't get that immediate help, he gave in. And that is something that I will always remember until the day I die. And I would say to people out there, you don't kick people when they're down. You don't kick people when they are down. Okay? Because we all have our moments when we up and when we go down. If you cannot be that support system that somebody needs when they're down, just leave them alone and stay away from them. That's it. But to make somebody feel so low about themselves, where they want to just end their life, it's just not right. It's not right. It's not right. So please stick and stay. Just have a good night. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.